Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with allthingsbbq.com, and this is the Poutine burger. Well, for those of you not already familiar with poutine, it's this beautiful culinary gift given to us from our neighbors to the north. Out of Quebec, Canada, poutine is a dish of French fries smothered in gravy and cheese curds, which is amazing. We're gonna take that beautiful thing today and combine it with another amazing thing, the cheeseburger. Together, these two things live in harmony. It's gonna be beautiful. So we're gonna start off by preparing the French fry portion of the poutine. And instead of just doing normal French fries today, we're actually going to spiralize these and do these into a really thin cut so they kind of fit on top of the burger in a little nest. So I'm gonna start with a pound of russet potatoes. We're just gonna run this through the spiralizer. If you don't have one of these, just go ahead and cut them into like little julienne matchsticks, and that'll work just as well. What I like about doing our fries like this is because this fry is so small, you've got all this surface area to create texture. So these are gonna crisp up really nice, and we need something crispy to hold up to all that gravy and that juicy cheeseburger. So I've just rinsed these until the water kind of goes clear a couple times, and then we're gonna pull them out of that water, move them to a paper towel because we need to dry these off before we can fry them. Water and oil, hot oil, do not react well to one another, so for safety's sake, make sure that you dry these off before you try frying them. And we won't leave these too long, but we're gonna let them air dry for just a little bit here. Next, we're gonna mix up the burger patties, get those formed up and resting in the fridge while we go fry off our fries and start on our poutine gravy. Now we're doing 1/3 pound patties today, and this is a beef it's labeled as an American Kobe beef. It's nice and fatty. You could always use just like an 80-20, whatever you have on hand. So this is just, let's see, 1 1/3 pounds since we're doing 4 of these. What we're gonna do though here, it's gonna be interesting today, is we're gonna actually add some of our cheese curds to the beef as well as to the poutine. So what we're gonna get here out of this is these nice little cheesy pockets inside the beef that'll start to melt as the burgers are cooking. So we're just gonna break up some of these cheese curds into our burger patty, and then we're gonna add a little bit of seasoning. And for our seasoning, we're using the Cattleman's Grill California Tri-Tip, but interesting here, this is actually pretty similar to like a Montreal steak seasoning kind of thing. It's a great steak seasoning, savory flavors, and so that's kind of our little tribute also to Montreal and that Quebec region of Canada where poutine is known to come from. So just a great savory little burger here with these pockets of cheese in the middle. Mix all of this up and then divide it out into quarters. And we'll just sort of patty these up for now, pressing them out. We're gonna be using a brioche bun today. Take a look at the size of your bun and make your burger patty just a little bit wider than your bun will be because it will contract as it cooks. And the more we handle these burgers, the more we start to risk melting that fat, which we don't wanna do. We want that fat to stay intact until it hits the grill. So as soon as these are formed up, we're gonna throw them back into the fridge to firm back up. So today we're gonna be cooking on the Napoleon P500 RSIB, and what that means is we've got a side burner with the infrared burner underneath it, and we've also got the regular setup inside here. So we're gonna go high heat grilling on the burgers. We're gonna be frying our fries here on the side burner at 375 in this hot oil, and then after we get done with our fries, we can move on to making our gravy on the side burner as well. All right, so working in small batches here, we're gonna add a little bit of our potatoes to the pot. We don't wanna overcrowd it and overflow it. As you can see, it kind of bubbles up pretty quick there. But this is gonna go so fast, you don't have to worry about getting a lot in there all at once. At 375, these are gonna be done in about a minute. So just a light golden brown, just like that. That's all we're looking for. And then as soon as those come out, we're gonna land them on a paper towel in a bowl. We're gonna hit them with a little bit of our hickory smoked salt, so it can soak up that salt right away. And then we'll just keep kind of adding to this. We'll toss things around, working in batches to get all of our French fries done. So golden brown onto the paper towel. And one of the things I love about these shoestring fries, or these little nest fries, is you never get a soggy fry with them. One of my pet peeves with fries is when they're not properly cooked or double fried. You don't need to double fry these to get them nice and crispy. So now we're switching gears from our French fries over to our poutine gravy. We're gonna start with a skillet on the side burner and get our pancetta in there. So this pancetta is gonna add some nice saltiness to our gravy, as well as providing some of the fat that we need to build a roux to create this gravy. So we're just gonna start over kind of a medium heat here, rendering out the fat, and cook this pancetta until it's almost all the way browned. All right, now that our pancetta is brown, I'm gonna throw in a few sprigs of thyme here, and we're gonna grate some garlic in as well. And then we're gonna deglaze this a little bit here with a little Canadian whiskey. I'm just gonna pull this off before we hit it with the whiskey. I don't want that to go up in flames. We'll do a couple tablespoons of that whiskey. Oh yeah, that smells awesome. So now we're really getting the aromatics, so that garlic in, the thyme, and of course we're smelling the pancetta and a bit of whiskey. We want that whiskey to reduce almost all the way out before we move on. Now we've got a good amount of fat out of that pancetta. I'm just gonna add about another tablespoon of butter here before we start to build this roux, adding in our flour. So I'm gonna add in a 1/4 cup of flour as soon as we get this melted. We're working over low heat now. We don't wanna scorch anything. And we're just gonna keep this moving. Start to toast up that roux. Cook out that raw flour taste. And the roux gives the gravy its thickening power. So once we get this kind of to a nice blonde color, starts to become nutty and aromatic, we can add in our beef stock, which is going to be the liquid that we use to build this gravy. All right, now you can really smell. You want to use your nose at this point. You can smell when this starts to smell like it's toasted. That means that it's ready for the liquid to be added. We don't want to scorch anything. We don't want to take this too far. We're not making some sort of Cajun roux here. We're not trying to go too dark. So right now we're going to start to add in our beef stock, just stirring constantly as we do so. So 2 cups of beef stock going in. And we need this to come up to a simmer so we can fully utilize the thickening power of the roux. All right, so we made it up to that simmer. Now we're gonna finish this off with just a little bit of heavy cream for that extra texture, that body. And at this point, I'm gonna turn the heat off and we're gonna grill up our burgers. We'll just cover our gravy and let it sit here nice and warm on the side burner. So while that gravy's just hanging out on the side burner, staying warm over there, we're gonna grill up these burgers, and we're going over direct heat to start this off. It's hot in there. We're talking 500 plus degrees. All right, so as we start to get just a nice little bit of color and texture on these, we're gonna flip them over to get the opposite side. And you're gonna get some flare-ups from that fat, but that's gonna transfer to flavor. Just toasting up our brioche buns here a little bit, and those are looking good. We just want a little bit of texture and color on them. Our burgers, I'm gonna shoot for about 155 on the internal on these. We're just below it, about 150. That one's come up to temp. So we'll start to pull these off as they come up to temp. All right, so we've got all the components here. It's time to put these burgers together. Let's show you how we bring together that poutine with the cheeseburger. So on the bottom bun of our burger, we're gonna go with some of our amazing maple mustard, maple syrup sweetened mustard. Great little Canadian product from Kozlik's. We're gonna add to that a little freshness with some greens, just some green leaf lettuce. Slice a nice juicy tomato on top of that. And then we'll come in with our burgers. So if you're so inclined, a spicy dill pickle right here. Might seem a little weird with the gravy, but I love the tangy touch. And then we're coming in with our little haystack of fried potatoes. Great texture on these. We're gonna need it because we're about to douse these in our poutine gravy. So before we serve this up, we're just gonna fish out our sprigs of fresh thyme. And because I want these white cheddar cheese curds to start melting, we're gonna add them straight to the gravy and then spoon these onto the burgers. This gravy is still plenty of hot. I'm sitting on that side burner with its lid on. So we're gonna start to see these get kind of oozy. So the curds and poutine gravy right there on top. Oh yeah, just let it cascade right over that burger, right over those fries. There it is. The monster poutine burger. Let's take a look at this baby. Oh dang. Juicy, cheese curds throughout. This looks like something you'd be inclined to tackle after a night of drinking some Crown Royal, you know what I mean? Probably fill you right up. Our curds are melting. The flavors are incredible. I mean, man, they're all over the place. I love the tang from that pickle on there because the creaminess of this gravy just fills your mouth. And these cheese curds, you got lots of fat there, right? But you get the stuff to cut through it, like the pickle, that mustard on the bottom. And the burger itself, great beef flavor. And you can't be mad about the cheese curds just popping up in the middle of those. Crown Royal or not, this is delicious. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to allthingsbbq.com/thesauce. All Things Barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.